Hello everyone, welcome back to Back in Diapers. I apologize for my kind of glazed over look. Recovering from seizure yesterday, which was Wednesday. And yeah, but just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update. I did not post a video last week. I think it may have been 2 weeks ago that I posted one. But it's kind of been a little while. And that's because life's been a little crazy. So first things first, a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, I was having a lot of nausea and vomiting. I've had it for a couple months now. A lot of nausea and vomiting, so they decided to do my checkups with my scopes. They decided to do both ways this time, which, like I said, I think in a previous video, they did find a hernia in that case, but we wanted to kind of go further and see if there was anything else that could be causing my issues. When I got my test results back, they wanted to, due to what they found, they wanted to test me for a couple of different things. One of those was gastroparesis, which is stomach paralysis, and then they wanted to do an MRI because they found a lump in my abdomen that they weren't sure what it was. So given the history that I have with desmoid tumors, they weren't sure if it was the same tumor or not, because I don't have documentation anywhere at my disposal readily of where my tumor is located. I know it's deep in the abdomen somewhere and it's very tiny. But also due to the CAT scan that they had done like a couple weeks previously to that, so it's like 2 months ago now, they saw a lump in there and classified it as an adrenal nodule, which kind of just means a mass they find near an adrenal gland type thing. Not sure what it was. So they did the MRI and to find out kind of what was inside, what was going on, and turns out it's not a tumor that we know so far. That from what I can tell, it's not. They can tell it's not a tumor. It is possibly just the adrenal gland has fatty tissue in it, or it's just a lump that contains fatty tissue in it. So don't mind my cat; he's very clingy today, which is usual. But so that was good. My gastric emptying study came back negative for gastroparesis, so I do not have paralyzation in the stomach at all. Everything's emptying fine, not too fast, not too slow, so that was good. But we were kind of hoping that that test would give us like a definitive answer on what was going on. So while we didn't really want me to have gastroparesis, it would have been nice to have like something we could point to for sure and say this is what's going on. But I'm glad I don't have gastroparesis, because it's a hassle. It's not fun at all. But that doesn't answer why my symptoms are getting worse, getting a little better, getting worse. But it does look like at this point that it is probably my hernia. I have a hyoidal hernia causing the issue. So I do have to schedule an appointment with my GI doctor to kind of discuss if we're going to do surgery to see if that helps or what. And the adrenal nodule, I do have to follow up with my general practitioner or primary care doctor with that to see what we need to do. Whether they need to go in and take it out, drain it, whatever. That I should know more about on the 8th of June. Okay, so this week's been pretty crazy for me, especially schedule-wise. They switched my schedule this week because I am in training for a new class. And because the majority of the class is second shifters, they did the training on second shift time, which is 1:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. And with that big of a shift from, I'm usually 8 to 3:30. With that big of a shift in hours, my body's kind of in an uproar. My stomach's worse. My nausea is a little bit worse this week. And seizures. Not good. So like I said earlier, Wednesday, about 6.5 hours through class. I had from what I was told, I think they were Grand Mal or tonic-clonic, whatever you call them. And they did have to call the ambulance because it is policy at our work when anyone has a seizure, they call the ambulance. Whether or not I go with them is up to me. And my plan of action is that I don't go unless there's a risk that I hit my head or injure myself somehow. So they just, first they call my boyfriend, and then they usually one person calls my boyfriend and one person calls the ambulance, from what I've been told. Or they do it either way. Andrew gets contacted first so that he can get on his way to get me. And then as I come to, I'm able to tell the EMTs I don't want to go, and then I go home. So that's kind of what happened yesterday. And I was not able to get my body to recover, or to sleep to recover, I should say, until I took my insomnia meds at nighttime. And so today was rough. I've got a migraine, something fierce. I am exhausted. I feel like I've been awake for days with no sleep. But I just can't get my body to sleep and recover, to reset that brain to work better. I did go into work today, so I felt okay, and I was still just exhausted. So I drank a cup of coffee at work and was figuring I'd do okay. But I kind of noticed that I was spacing out. In this case, absent seizures. So I let my trainer know that I just probably needed to go before things got worse, because as things, with the headache and then the absent seizures, it kind of usually progresses into something worse, such as a worse seizure. And I after freaking the whole class out yesterday, I really didn't want to do that today, and my trainer agreed, and told me, safety is always best. So I went out to my car, sat there till Andrew got there, and then I came home. And one thing I love about the people I work with and work for is anyone, supervisors, trainers, all that. They all understand what's going on, and I have yet to get penalized for going home early because of a seizure. I actually have one time, last time I had a seizure, I asked our boss about it, because he was saying, well, you'll get your half a point because you didn't complete your whole shift. It's only half. And my trainer at the time said I refused to put in an incomplete notice that would cause me to get the half a point. So she has a daughter who has seizures, and she understands what's going on, and she said she refused to put that through. So I didn't get a point, and also didn't get one from yesterday, which is good. I may or may not get one for today, because I kind of left on my own free will. That remains to be seen. I'll know tomorrow. But I can dispute the point and let our command center know what was going on, and hopefully get that taken off. But I just love my company that I work for, because they're also understanding. They know what to do in most cases. And they're really good about working with me, coming in another shift to take care of business, coming in early to take care of stuff, all that. And without fail, my one trainer, whose daughter has epilepsy, she makes sure to find me if I'm at work the day after a seizure, and she always gives me this little hug and asks how I'm doing, and she came in yesterday at 6:30, 7 o'clock. She came into our training room because I was having a seizure, because she knows what to do, and she's great. She left her training class to come help me, and I just love and respect that trainer especially, because she doesn't care what goes on. She just wants to help, and being that she knows the situation, she's really good at it. So yeah, but today every female classmate at least was asking me how I was doing. Word had kind of spread around through the supervisors that I had a seizure. all that. So I had a lot of people kind of asking me how I was doing, which was nice because they really do care. And my one coworker, I sit with her all the time. We're best buds, and she's the sweetest thing. She's so sweet, offers whatever I need. Hang on, cat. Offers to help me out and things like that. Apparently I have to deal with a cat butt in my face. I just love the people I work with, and it's, the wonderful thing is that while they give me support, we are always there for each other and, try to help each other out as much as possible. And I love that environment. I love that, we're a family in that sense, and it's a great support system. And we're all just very close and very helpful with each other. And people that have helped me through these situations and are so kind through these situations, I make a point to kind of spread the love and show that support back to them. And that's the way we work there, and I just love it. It's awesome. But so I've been a little down on myself today because of all that went on and the fact that I had to leave again today. And I get very frustrated because now I'm half a day behind or so in training. So it's frustrating to me because I'm such an overachiever. And I just wanted to share you guys an analogy, I guess, that my boyfriend gave to me. And he would be so proud of me for the fact that I actually listened to him and I'm sharing it. And I'm sure so many people have heard this before, but, he's saying life is like, a boat voyage out in the ocean type thing, or, sailing a boat or rowing a boat or whatever. He said that, you're out on the water, and sometimes the boat decides the boat gets capsized. And he said, we have three choices at that point. We can let ourselves drown. We can splash around and not go anywhere and try to stay afloat, or we can swim. And basically through that, he's like, you can give up and say, F that, I'm done, I'm not going to try anymore, I'm just going to, fade away into nothing and be a blob. Or we can rant and scream and be mad about it and not do anything proactive about it and just splash around. Or we can swim and go with the flow and keep moving forward. And I really like that analogy, and it kind of goes along with what my mom is always telling me. A nice little quote from Finding Nemo: just keep swimming, just keep swimming. What do? We swim, swim, swim. And my mom and I say that all the time, and so it is true. We just got to keep pushing at it. And no matter what your situation is, if you're dealing with incontinence issues, other health issues, dealing with the struggle of being AB, I know those are a lot of reasons why y'all are here. We can completely drown and turn into a recluse and not go anywhere and just be, terrified of the situation. And we can rant and scream and be upset, but not do anything about it. Or we can just move forward and be proactive, be happy, go on with life. And I've seen pretty much cases of all three. As far as my communications go here on YouTube, I've seen instances go all three ways, where people just dead stop and just let themselves go off into oblivion, basically, and just be completely burdened down by the fact of they're incontinent or something like that. And they can, or they can bitch and be upset and be mad, and yet they don't do anything. In the incontinence world, if you've got, you have incontinence issues, what are you doing about it? Are you just sitting there saying how you hate it, it's not great, or, and just rant about it? Or are you actually swimming and doing something about it? Getting the tests you need, getting the products that work best for you, figuring out what products work best for you, and moving on with life. Because, guys, being incontinent is actually one of the least of my worries. While it takes up the most money and a lot of time, it's the least of my worries, and it's honestly completely second nature to me. So it's like, I made a decision with the incontinence a long time ago, and being AB has helped with this a little bit. But I made the point that my incontinence was never going to be my reason for not doing something, whether that be working or traveling or going out for some fun, drinks with friends and things like that. Made that choice a long time ago that I was not going to let it rule my life, and I think I've done pretty well with it so far. I have my moments where I get upset, especially after I have an accident where I mess my diaper, which I do actually have issues with that physically. And I get mad at myself because I couldn't make it, or the fact that I messed in a very public place or something like that. But I will never let that stop me from continuing to do those things, because if I just gave up and let myself drown, life would be miserable. And hey, wearing a diaper or having a little bit of incontinence issues is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Health-wise, it's, basically one of the least dangerous problem you could pretty much imagine. So just keep on pushing through, and, take steps and measures that are going to help you along the way. If you have to wear diapers 24/7 and you work, but you're uncomfortable with, wearing the diapers and everything, there's measures you can take. You can get snap crotch shirts, or also known as onesies, to help hide things. You can get a backpack that's packed with all your supplies you need in case something happens, and you can have, you always have a backup plan and a way to, if something doesn't go right, just keep moving on forward. And I'm like drifting here because I'm so exhausted, and I did take Benadryl about a half hour ago or so because I was having a migraine, and my combination of medication actually really helps with that, even though the one medication can cause headaches. The one that I take for the migraine can cause headaches, or at least one of them, but I did start a new medication kind of yesterday. This morning, it's a little iffy if I actually got a dose of the medication due to the nature of how it is administered, which I'll try it again tonight, which could also be contributing to some of my issues today, like my worsened nausea randomly and things like that. But anyway, I have rambled on now for almost 20 minutes. Oh my goodness. So don't expect regular videos for at least another 2 weeks, maybe 3, depending on health and if I get time to record. As of next Saturday, I go back to my normal schedule, so hopefully I'll be able to record something, not this coming Saturday, or not this coming week, but the following week. I'm so lost with that at this point, I can't even tell. Hopefully, in a couple weeks I'll have another video uploaded. I'll have to look through my comments and see what were some of the suggestions. Right now I don't have the money to get any samples, because there's some I would love to try to get samples for, which I can try to get, but I can't buy any right now because money is very tight. But if you guys have any suggestions for a video to do in the next couple weeks that you really want to hear about, leave it in the comments below. One other thing I wanted to address is someone couldn't find my inbox. Basically, with YouTube, you have the chance to obviously comment on videos, but if you go into the, if you click my name right above the subscriber button, go into my channel, you should have an about or a discussion tab, and in one of those you can message me. So it's not called inbox, it's called messaging. That goes to me personally. Not everybody else sees that. And I'm actually really bad about reading them, but I'm trying to stay up to date with it. I do actually get an email every time someone messages me, so that has helped. But if you have stuff you want me to talk about, but you don't want to kind of suggest it in publicly, go ahead and message me here. I do also have Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, Twitter and Instagram. So if you know, I don't check those I check Instagram like every few days. Don't check Twitter as much because I don't know, I do a lot of Facebook and instant messaging and stuff. So, but the best way to probably get a hold of me quickly is here on YouTube, either in a comment or a message. And yeah, I think I'm done rambling. I'm gonna let you all go for the day. Please leave comments. Give this video a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this one with the most thumbs ups I've ever had. If you haven't already, subscribe down below. I think it's right there. I don't know, somewhere. My camera records funky, so it's probably actually over here. But I will see you guys all next time. And thank you so much for watching, and y'all have an awesome time and stay dry.